Well, hello. Today is Saturday, January 4th, and it's time to go over our weekly highlights, which is time to reflect and hit refresh. It's a new year, new beginning, a new decade. The holidays are over for the most part. I know there's still a few little things going on, but for the most part, they're done. And it's time to move on. It's time to get back on track. And with that being said, I have to tell you, I was really good this week. Let me fix you a little bit there. I stayed to my plan. I did a menu plan for the week, somewhat stuck to it. I did better than I thought I would. Didn't stick to it 100%, but I would say probably 85% of the time, which kept me on track, which helped me have a great loss of 3.9. I now weigh 228.5. My total loss is 75.7. And my quote is, life is so much easier when you just chill out. And that is so true. I just relaxed this week and I just thought, I am done. And Anita, because I was thinking of you today, I put my little Disney characters on there because it's the happiest place on earth. Anita's at Chit, Paddiwhack. But anyway, I'm so happy. I'm back in the 20s, back in the 20s again. I'm going to stay there this time. I'm not going back into the 30s. I am determined to get into those teens. I struggled. I've been on Weight Watchers since December 31st, 2016, and I go along pretty well, and then I hit one set of numbers that really make me stagnant. And the numbers that really got me stagnant at the beginning was in the 50s. I couldn't get out of the 50s. It took me forever to get out of the 50s. And then I broke through and I was doing really well and I got into the 20s. And then I went back into the 30s and I'm having a hard time staying out of the 30s. So I don't know. I have to be a little bit more diligent. My theme for the year is to believe in yourself. And I really do believe that when we believe in ourselves, that we do accomplish a lot. I got my charm for completing my challenge. So I got to put that on I carry my little booklet here, and I got all my charms that I've earned, like a small child. I like little rewards, or like a dog, for that matter. But anyway, so I'm really staying on track. I'm determined. I'm going to persevere, because perseverance is another one of my words for the year. But enough of that, let's get on with the program. Weekly meeting is about time to reflect and refresh. With a new year beginning, you have the perfect chance to look back at the previous one, taking stock of how you responded to challenge and learning from your successes that can help you to hit new goals. For the year of 2019, I lost a grand total of, sit down, you're not going to love it, 7.9 or 7.8 pounds. Okay. As far as weight loss, that was not an accomplishment. It was an accomplishment that I lost 7.8 pounds, but it wasn't a major accomplishment because it took me a whole year to do it. But I did not gain any weight for 2019. And my pattern, because I'm 69 years old, my pattern is to gain like 4 or 5 pounds a year. I just do that. And this year, in 2019, I didn't do that. And I still have a total loss of 75.7 pounds, and so I'm doing something right. And I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. I'm a work in progress. I tell you that all the time. Examine the last 3 to 6 months and then create a plan for moving forward. That's what we need to do. If I was to look at I accomplished a lot because usually my birthday month I go crazy because I think that it's my birthday month. Most people have a birthday. I have a birth month. And I tend to over-celebrate. But this year I lost weight on my birthday month. So that was an accomplishment for me. I was hoping from my birthday to the end of the year to lose 11 pounds. That didn't happen. But a little discouraging, but not, a little disappointing. I'll put it that way. It was a little disappointing, but not discouraging because I pulled it around. I enjoyed myself for the holidays. I had a great time through the holidays. I put on a little bit of weight during the holidays, but looking back, the memories that I shared are so much better than thinking, well, I didn't have a cupcake. I'm not going to remember that next year that I turned down a cupcake. I'm going to remember the times I had with my family. So you just have to put it in perspective. I always tell you that there's only so many days a year that you can kind of just go a little crazy. I mean, you shouldn't go completely crazy, but a little crazy. Your birthday, an anniversary, a celebration of some sort, a graduation, a wedding, a shower, Figure it into your plans, figure it into your points, enjoy yourself, create a good memory, and then move on. They give you 4 tips to reflect and refresh. The first one is reflect on your successes. Consider which changes you made quickly and which ones that took longer to stick to. What did you do to make them happen, and how did these positive steps help you on your journey? The changes I made was just enjoying my life and not being so consumed with points. If I was consumed with points, I would have hit my 100 pounds goal. I know that. I know that for a fact. But, you know, like I said, I'm 69 years old. I'm creating as many memories as I can. I want to create memories for my family that they'll remember. I don't want them to remember me as like, oh, she was the one that was always measuring her food out in front of everybody, and she was always saying, you shouldn't have that, and you shouldn't have this. I want them to remember, like, you know what? She had a good time. She lost weight, and she's doing really remarkably well. My son-in-law, Aaron, is my tech guy. He does all of my electronics, and I always get some sort of electronic at Christmas that I can't figure out. And this year I got an Alexa with a little monitor and a Ring doorbell. So he was setting it up for me, and I told him I wanted to put pictures on it because I just wanted to see my pictures. And so he was scanning through my pictures, and he was afraid he was going to hurt my feelings. And he said, you know, I don't want to hurt your feelings when I say this, but he says, but my God, you lost a lot of weight. You were really heavy. And I said, Aaron, how can that hurt my feelings? He says, well, because I'm kind of like telling you were fat. And I go, I was fat. I really was fat. I said, but you know, like when you're around somebody all the time, they can't really see it as you're progressing. So don't get discouraged. Just don't get discouraged. You know how well you're doing. You know what the scale is saying. So just go from there. Number 2 is evaluate your challenges. Similar to step 1, think about things that didn't work for you and what obstacles got in your way. How can you alter your approach next time? I really didn't have too many obstacles other than myself. And just if you're part of a cookie collab that you're making like 12 dozen cookies, and that's going to be hard for you, don't do that next year. Or just say, you know, instead of having 12 people, because usually when it's anyone I've ever been in, it's always 12 that you make 12 dozen cookies. Try to cut it down to 6, and then you only have 6 dozen cookies. And then freeze all the extra cookies and just portion them out during the year and enjoy them a whole year. Don't wait and eat them all at Christmas time. I should have remembered that because I did go a little crazy with the Christmas cookies. Number 3, know where you're going. Create a longer-term goal to achieve by the end of February. Visualize what success looks like, how you'll feel, and what you need to overcome to get there. I really haven't set a goal until February. I have set a personal goal for Easter. For Easter, I would like to reach my 100-pound mark, which is 25 pounds, and Easter is 11 weeks. So that's a little lofty goal. It really is, because that's a little more than 2 pounds a week. Even though I had a good loss this week, I had some gains in the past, and so I'm just kind of making up for that. But you know what? If I lose a pound a week, that brings me up like within 13 pounds. My long-term goal is by next year, on December 31st, to reach my goal, which Weight Watchers, my doctor, and I are all arguing about because we don't agree. So we'll figure that out when I get closer to my goal. I'm not going to stress about it now. I have a little ways to go, and there's no point in worrying about it now. I'm going to get to the closer point, and then we'll compromise and finagle and barter and all that good stuff when I get closer. Number 4 is set a weekly goal. Based on your past successes and challenges, identify a specific step towards your longer-term goal that is truly doable this week. Take into account how you can respond to anything that gets in your way. My weekly goal is the same as it was last week, to make a weekly menu plan. I got the menu from Joan's Pointed Plate. I'll leave a link to her channel down below. If you go over to her channel, she has, I don't know if it's in the description box, but somewhere she has that you can print off. She has a printable menu. And if not, if you just drop her a comment, she'll respond to you. She's very quick about responding in that. And she does a lot of recipes, and it's a day in the life, and you see a lot of, she's got weight. My goal this year is to try to eat different foods. And I did buy some turkey sausage, which I'm going to have for breakfast one morning. I've never tried it before. It's a new thing for me. But anyway, So, and there's so many channels out there. You should try, look them up and see which ones you like. The recipe is for a hibiscus pomegranate punch. It's 4 points on all the plans. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little punched out. I've had enough punch for now, but it's something to keep. I keep all my recipes in case I ever want to go back on them. But the quote that we had is, one way to keep momentum going is to have constant greater goals. Start off with little small goals. Don't say, I'm going to lose 5 pounds this week. Set a small goal of, I'm going to lose a half a pound this week. And then next week say, you know what, I lost a half a pound. Why don't I increase it to a pound? Or why don't we just say, instead of going to the gym every day this week, I think I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week. Maybe even 2 times this week. But then next week, you kind of increase it a little bit. You want to reflect and refresh because let's face it, it's 2020. It's a whole new decade. It's a whole new year. It's a whole new beginning. And we can do it. And I believe in you, and I know you can. Ask yourself these questions if this applies to you. Are you a lifetime member? Are you the first time joining? Are you working towards your goal? We're all working for the same thing, being healthy. Being healthy on this plan. Someone had brought up at our meeting today about Jenny Craig, that they, ship you the food, and then their big commercial now is, no counting points, you can get that. But you know what? What do you do once you reach your goal? Are you going to stay with Jenny Craig? Are you going to pay all that money for that food? And most of their food is processed. I find that when I eat on the healthier side and eat less processed foods, my body pays me back by just letting me sleep better. I have a better complexion. I have a better mood. I sleep so much better. I move, everything. Because my body doesn't have all those extra ingredients that your body wasn't meant to have. So reflect where you are. Where are you and what do you have to do in order to get where you want to be? If you just have to cut out one thing during the week that, maybe one night, just say tonight I'm not going to have snacks. That might help you out. You just never know. Always have a self-reflection of yourself. Create a better sense of who you are. You are the only one that is with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You have to reflect on what you need to do to make you feel better. And it's not being selfish to put yourself first. It's self-nourishing. We learned that at our meeting last week. Never say that you're being selfish. You're self-nourishing. And that's all you need to do is with your self-reflection. Just think, am I being self-nourishing to myself? And as a woman, most women put other people first. And it's about time you put yourself first. Things you can do is to journal. Journal with your thoughts, your activities, your goals. In your book in itself, it has a space for you to do it. That was their whole point of it, was for you to journal in your thing. If you don't have it, just buy it. Well, I have a journal here. See, what did I do? Oh, here. I'm using it. Just buy it at the dollar store, and just write in it each day. Date it yourself, or buy a daily a calendar or something. But write down each day what made you feel good that day, what made you feel bad. Somebody, I don't know who it is, I forget, has a fish bowl, and every day they put on a little sticky note, they write something good that happened that day, and they put it in the fish bowl. And then they have a separate little fish bowl for things that didn't happen so well. And then they write it down and they just put it in it. So they got or a jar, whatever you want to use. And then at the end of the month, they pick out 3 things from each jar to see what 3 things made them happy and what 3 things made them sad. And then they kind of balance it out to see if in the long run the happy outweighed the sad. And you know what? I bet you most times the happy jar will be higher filled than the sad jar. Figure out an action plan. Think of what you did well, how you can improve on it, and what you can do to keep it going. And then also think of what didn't work for you and what can you do to improve on that. What can you do to make it a little bit better? What mistake did you make that you won't make again? And always celebrate a non-scale victory. In Weight Watcher terms is NSF. And that's pat yourself on the back. If you had a hard week and you went to the meeting, whether you lost or gained, you know what? You went to the meeting and you faced the music and you're just trying to stay on track, and that's all that really matters. Always remember how far you've come. you know what? It's been a long time, 3 years for me. And it's 3 years that I've learned way more about myself than I ever thought possible. I thought I knew everything about myself. But no, I've realized how much I turn to food for comfort. And I still do. I still do. I mean, not as badly as I did in the past, but I'm aware of it when I'm doing it this time. And sometimes it stops me, but I'll be honest, sometimes it doesn't. But it keeps me from going way overboard. It really does. And successes can always be motivating, and they can keep you inspired to keep moving. If we had a loss every week, obviously we're going to still keep going because that's a success. But a success is even when you have a gain one week, that you continued on and you didn't give up. That's a success, because I don't consider myself a failure unless I quit. If I'm going to struggle along the way, even the best athletes have their bad days. They really do. And that doesn't mean that they quit their sport altogether. They just know that, you know what, they got to work that much harder to get back to where they were. And the changes you made along your journey, whether big or small, make a big impact on your everyday life. And they really do. You just have to sometimes just write it down, the accomplishments that you had for the day, or even if you just did it once a week, what were your accomplishments for the week? They had this quote too, which I liked. I came, I weighed, I cried, I stayed. Always do that. Always think of, if you're a Weight Watcher member and you go to a meeting, do that. Go to it. If you're just at home and you're doing your own weight loss program, weigh yourself every day at the same, or once a week at the same time with the same clothes, and write it down. Write down what you did, and just go move on from there. So that's about it for today. I got to get the phone. You know, it'll be a telemarketer, I know it, so I'm in no big rush to get over there. But anyway, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, share it if you think somebody might like it, and hit that like button. So if I don't see you on my daily vlog, I'll see you next week at our weekly meeting.